Hey everybody, welcome to my garage. For those people that maybe know me, it's been a while. I'm Mr. Harmon, and if you're watching this, it's because we're not at school, which is super weird. Um, Most YouTube videos I've done in the past, have been all structured and procedural, and it's about learning step by step process on building something. This is very new for me. Uh, so I'm just going to grab a seat and talk for a bit and hopefully do this in one take. Um, it's a weird time right now. It's a weird time for teachers. It's a weird time for you as students. It's a weird time for the world. And because of COVID 19, the coronavirus, we're going through some real hardships in regards to people's livelihood, their health, their mental health, uh, and we're struggling with coming up with solutions to this problem. Um, but I'm going to try and focus on some positives. I'm not comparing this to a war at all, but it kind of is a wartime feeling. Not that I've lived through it, but when you talk about war, you're battling something, and this is battling something we can't see. And from my experience working with technology and innovation, um, out of war times, whether it was the First World War and the progression of flight, to the Second World War that led to the space race, and even if we're talking about technology and some of the recent conflicts we've had, which are obviously, war is terrible, but it's moved the world through the innovative process in ways that we've never had motivation before. And I feel like this COVID 19 that we're dealing with now is going to provide innovation that we've never seen before, and we've already been experiencing that. It's innovation not just in healthcare, in medicine, and innovation in regards to finding hopefully a cure for this thing, but it's innovation even here in Mr. Harmon's garage. Uh, I personally have colleagues that are scared of new technology, computers. They do everything with photocopying. They don't use a projector in their classroom. They are old school, that are now forced to fit inside this screen that you're watching right now. And even if we look at innovation from a school perspective, there's teachers now that are forced into this box just like you guys are forced into learning from people like us. Me personally, I feel like I'm doing stand-up comedy or entertaining without an audience right now, and it's really weird for me. Like if you've watched Jimmy Kimmel or Stephen Colbert or Jimmy Fallon, they're doing these shows basically on YouTube in their living room or in their kitchen from their house, telling jokes and nobody's laughing, and it's really weird. Not that my students usually laugh at my jokes, but I kind of feel like I'm talking to you, but you're not sitting in front of me, which is super weird. Um, Online learning is difficult. It's difficult to teach, and it's difficult to learn. Myself personally, I recently finished an online course this past winter, and it's way easier listening to somebody and staying awake if they're really in front of you, as opposed to watching some computer screen trying to be involved or trying to think, does this matter? I'm going to try and to do things to keep my students and whoever's watching this engaged. Obviously, we're not going to be firing up a welder at home if you don't own a welder, or you're not going to be firing up a lathe, or you're not going to be building big crazy things like I do with my industrial design class the same way if you were at school versus you're at home. So where does that leave me as an educator? What's my role? What am I doing with this? Nobody knows. It's not just that you're confused as to what does education look like. It's confusing for teachers too, including myself. So for the next couple weeks, hopefully this gets over soon, but it could be longer. But for the next couple weeks, I'm going to focus more on ideas and themes that spark interest, because the majority of what I teach is about that. It's the design process, it's ideas, and then taking those ideas and working with your hands. And I want you, if you're watching this, to think carefully about the design process. Where do things come from? Why does stuff exist the way it does? Somebody had to invent it, somebody had to design it, somebody had to create it. And what skills did they use to make that happen? And understand that right now, in this reality, the skills that I teach you, the physical, hands-on, tactile skills that I teach you either in the computer lab or an industrial design lab or in the metal shop, you can't do those skills at home. You can do some of them, it's not the same. So if you can't do those tactile hands-on skills at home, what can you do? And you can explore the world of technology through some videos, some YouTube, some clips that I post, and hopefully I'm going to keep you engaged and learning. I really appreciate you spending the time watching this. If you're confused, if you're worried about the future, you're not alone. We're going to figure this out, and this is kind of a serious first video that I'm going to be posting with this time of social distancing and e-learning and whatever they want to call what this is. But we're going to get through this. I'm going to see you all again, and we're going to build some cool stuff in the future. But in the short term, right now, we're going to be learning some things online, and I'm going to keep you excited, keep you interested about technology, and I look forward to chatting with you guys soon. Bye, everybody.